Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Isolation Player, and in today's episode it is the final episode of our Polar Express build, and we are going to spend some time looking around the exhibits and the ride itself as a sort of point of view ride. So here we are at the train station at the beginning, albeit we don't actually see a train station at the beginning of Polar Express. It's a magic train, but we'll go with it at this point. So we brought our ticket from the station and we are sat now waiting for the train to fill up with passengers. All the doubters out there as such. So it's been a few weeks building this this sort of build itself. We'll move on in the near future and probably explore the Europe pack stuff in the next two builds we do. Any ideas you want to see me do go forward, please leave a comment down below and I can take that on board and certainly try that and go forward from there, so as someone sits on top of me. So the train now sets off. The first sort of part of the build itself is just literally a up and around and through a mountain before we get to the first exhibit. So to start with, not much to see, just a bit of scenery, trees growing, wonky as you can see, that one coming out of the mountain sideways. As unfortunately they're sort of just rigid trees, you can't have one that sort of tilts and bends slightly. Again, so there's not much going on between the scenes, between the actual scenes basically, but as soon as we get there we can talk a bit more, but as we go through the tunnel itself here. Oh, man with a lion hat on next to me. There we go. So slowly through the tunnel up to the first exhibit. As you can remember in the first episode, I think it was, or second, where we built a sort of street area itself with the Arctic fox, the small sort of animal in a big street basically was the idea here. With that we have got probably a lot more now as the game stops, so bear with me 2 seconds. So we've got a few more in there now, probably because I think they've given birth, because I've had aging and birth on there, and some of the settings I set up wrong as we had protesters because of one of them being a bit sad, but there we go. And then the street build again, I borrowed items from the workshop, like the big houses and so on. Reason being is I can't, not that I can't, I'm not very good at building houses like that, and I do find it a little bit boring from time to time. So I just check out my attire. Nice stripy checkered green shirt and some blue baggy shorts. Just something I would love to wear as we come out of the tunnel itself. So as we veer over to the right and look down, sort of down the mountaintop itself, with mountains, like we're carving through the mountain itself on the train. As this man's got a funny neck. It will go around to the right, and as you can start to see now, the street itself, the big old snowman, some vehicles there, because like I say it's a street, very sort of copied, but that's all I could find. Like I say, the houses themselves in night time too, they do all light up, same with the festive tree. As you can see, some of the foxes are running around the area itself. Problem with the train, you can't slow down and speed up in between scenes, so it is going to be quite fast around some of them, and then some of them we're going to have issues with where the animals are on the track, but we'll get to that in a moment. So that's the street where the train will stop in the movie, and the boy will get on. I can't remember his name, but he'll get on the train itself with a bit of sort of doubts, but he gets on there. Again, through a tunnel now, just to the next scene itself, which this scene is the Arctic fox, Arctic wolf even habitat, on where the boy loses the ticket out of the window, and it goes on that sort of epic journey where it gets taken by a bird, swallowed, sort of spat out in a ball, rolls down a mountain, turns into a big snowball and then bursts, and then flies back onto the train again. And there are wolves in that scene, so hence why I've done this one here. Problem is, when we went through on this, I don't think we managed to capture any there's just one briefly just there running past, but I think that's all we managed to see. But there we go through. The man with the crooked neck again. Funny bloke. So, sort of put the food tray down there so it does venture and make them venture down. So there are more chances you can see them. But unfortunately we're unlucky on this ride, but hey, it's just like any sort of zoo ride. It is what it is. Sometimes you'll see the animals, sometimes you won't. I've been to many zoos before, and I've never seen all the animals I wanted to, because of them in hiding, sleeping in their dens and so on. So it is what it is. So now on to the Caribou Crossing habitat. Again, lots and lots of reindeer in here, and in the movie the train itself comes down one of the peaks in the distance. They can see the caribou, the reindeer, on the tracks, and the mechanics or the train drivers themselves are out trying to change the light bulb, and they come face to face with them, quite literally. So that's the idea of this build. Again, the big open plain just down here with literally tons of reindeer. I've got that many in here, the faces all sort of mangle together and sort of morph out of shape, so you may see some funny looking reindeer, as that is some of them bolt across. Round we go again, back through another sort of tunnel. This one's quite short, so we'll just go up and then we'll drop back down. And the idea of this exhibit or habitat we are about to go through is when the train itself goes onto the ice, and then the ice breaks and drops back down onto the track itself through the water. So that's the idea of this one. Again, we've got two polar bear in here, a male and female, so you may catch them running around too. There you go, you can see there's quite a bit of ice. Yeah, you can see a polar bear there too. The man with the crooked neck moves his head out of the way. So the idea is that we're on the ice, going around, and it's cracking and forming. The problem was I couldn't get the water level above the track to make it look that way, so I've had to sort of build up to the track itself, and sort of just got to use your imagination really. You might hear a squeak in the background, that's my budgie, to be fair. Probably wondering why I'm talking to myself, or talking to the microphone. There we go. So as we go through slowly, the sort of back on the track now, through a small little tunnel here. And originally this was going to go straight to the North Pole, but as you saw in the previous episode, we've put the king penguin in here now too, just so the gap wasn't sort of vast and sort of a long journey between the polar bear and North Pole. There was something in between basically. So as we come through, Again, some of the items used from the workshop, i.e. this archway with the reindeers, sort of welcoming you into, here we are, the North Pole as such. King penguins I don't think are in the North Pole, but we've got to use your imagination, as this is a zoo game. As we're getting held up by this marching penguin just in front of the train here. When I first started in the build of this one last episode, there was 24 penguins in here. I know a few of them have given birth already, so I'd estimate it's up to 28 or around that sort of number now, as we spin around again. There you can see them in the distance coming around to the water. To the left hand side, as I mentioned last time, these are from the workshop themselves, sort of building area, sort of like gingerbread houses as such. But what I've done with this one is hidden the habitat gate in one of them, so the penguins walk in and out of the building itself, and the zookeepers do too, in the middle one there, and hidden behind them the staff and sort of staff buildings. So in the movie, before they get to the North Pole, they have that sort of corkscrew type ride up and then over a massive bridge. I haven't done that, but as you can see, there's sort of like the ice castle there. Again, I found that on the workshop. It's from an older movie called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, on which there was a evil witch called Cruella, or something along them lines, who wouldn't let the elves or Rudolph cross the ice bridge and put a big storm on. If you remember that movie, leave a like or comment down below. But I watched that with my two young boys the other day, and I thought, you know what, I saw that in there, let's put there in the back of the North Pole, so a bit of sort of another story to tell as such. So here we are at the North Pole. So to the left and right, these buildings here are, like I said in the last episode, are like the elves' houses, workshops and so on. Big centre sort of Christmas tree there, where the elves would gather and sing carols. Sort of reindeer workshop behind us, or barn even, area, and then the big man himself, his sleigh and his reindeer all harnessed up, ready to take off there, all 9 of them. Bonus points if you can name all 9 in the comment section below, without Google. Okay, and that is the main sort of attractions themselves. We'll slowly take the train ride back to the station, and then we'll spend some time with the animals themselves. So like I say, this was the end or last episode of the Polar Express build, and going forward I will be going back to a sort of another biome where we will hopefully play with some of the new Europe Pack animals, see what they're about, and again still use some of the original animals too, thinking more like a sort of woodland type build, with the new deer and badgers and so on. We'll have a play around with that, see what happens and see what we can do there. I don't know if anybody's watched Rudy Red Camel and his sort of Yosemite zoo build itself, where it's like a sort of national park, something similar to along them lines, like a forest where you can stay in a log cabin, go for walks rounds, and you've got the deer and the badger and so on there. Very similar to that really is my sort of thoughts and ideas, but again we'll move on to that in due course. Okay, so here we are back at the station. There we go. So, next sort of 5 minutes or so, we're just going to spend some time with the animals in the zoo itself. As I sort of scroll out a bit. To be fair, I misread that then. I thought that said Arctic fox, but it wasn't. It was an Arctic wolf. But there we go. So here we go. So the Arctic fox habitat here. Again, like I said, quite a few in here now. I do like the different colours, the black and white ones. I think, to be fair, they stand out. They're nice and sort of really well made. As we just spend a quick time with this one. The snow's built up that much, it's halfway up that ambulance's wheel. There we go, as that one runs past. So there's the Arctic foxes. You can see the storm castle there, the ice castle. Camera angle all over the place. Again, the wolves are hiding. I can hear them. I don't know if you guys can hear them in the background too. I can't see them though. Oh, there we go. A couple up at the top there, running across. There they are. He says, as I click onto this one here. Again, well made from Frontier, these animals. Really good. As this one sticks his tongue out. Gives us a howl. There we go. Oh, that one's getting a bit old. Again, good luck to the person who can pronounce that name. So, down through the wolf forest and into reindeer or Caribou Crossing. You see what I mean then, with the noses sort of misformed slightly then. I believe that is to do with the amount of animals in here and the sort of shadowing each other as such. Can't be too certain though. That's my only sort of thought there, because I think there are over 30 of them in this exhibit now. Again, they're reproducing like mad. Gottfried. So we find some more down here. We see straight away there's about 3 or 4 babies there. Let's move around and watch them. Little baby one here. Jolts round. There we go. So now on to the polar bear exhibit. We spend some time with this one, walking across the train track itself, enjoying life as a polar bear. Just marching one by one. Again, 2 in here. I don't want to sort of overkill with how many bears I put in here, because you won't see that many in the wild as such living together in the territory they have. So male and female, they have reproduced, I think, now, just as we finished the build, typical, but there we go. Okay, now on to King Penguin, let me put the teeth back in, area here. That's the zookeeper drops their fish, and for some reason it's not actually going on the ground. There we go. To be fair, these will be one of my favourite animals in the game. The way they waddle, slide down, and like you watch that one slide down on its belly, the hill there in the background is amazing. The babies are giant balls of fluff. I think they've done a really good job here. Spend some time with Zena. Little baby one there. And quite a few in the water, and there we go. To the North Pole. So, thank you very much for watching. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I've been Isolation Player. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next episode, guys. A new playlist coming. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.